Yemeni people mark the 54th anniversary of the 14th of October revolution. And Saudi jets wage airstrikes against several Yemeni governorates. And the cholera outbreak sweeps 92% of the Yemeni districts. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the news. I'm Akram Al-Hindi. The President of the Supreme Council, Salah, held today a Republican palace in Sana'a, a reception party to commemorate the 54th anniversary of the 14th of October revolution. During the party, they received the members of the Supreme Political Council, the Parliament Speaker, and the Prime Minister, along with tribal leaders and social figures. During the reception, they exchanged the congratulations on this glorious occasion and praised highly the great role played by the Army and Popular Committee in facing the occupation forces. The Prime Minister, Abdulaziz bin Habtoor, on his part, affirmed that the revolutionary men have unified the south of the country after being divided into sultanates and emirates. He concluded the statement by saying that this day marks the 54th anniversary and now the unity is being enhanced at all levels. The Saudi war jets continued their attacks against Sana'a Governorate and Nehm district. Local sources told Yemen today that the Saudi jets waged 4 airstrikes on Jarban area, Sanhan district, 2 days after similar attacks. In Nehm district, the Saudi airstrikes destroyed a citizen's house in Iyal Muhammad area. They also waged another air raid against Al Madfoun area in Nehm. The Saudi warplanes made 4 air raids against Al Madfoun region and Jabal Al Qarn, leaving great damages to citizens' properties. A new wave of Saudi terrorist attacks was made against Sa'da Governorate in the north of Yemen. According to local sources in Sa'da, the Saudi fighters launched at least 6 air raids against Al-Qam al-Far' and Al-Bugh areas in Kitaf district. The Saudi jets also waged 4 air raids against several areas of Baqam and 4 air raids against Al-Malahid area in Al-Zahir district. While in Baqam district, the Saudi jets also waged air raids on Al-Mahasif, Al-Khutban, and Al-Saddad areas. The Saudi land forces carried out rockets and artillery shelling against Al-Umar and Al-Sheikh, Al-Muqanna, and Al-Tariq Munabbih district. While in Al-Jawf, neighboring governorate, the Saudi jets waged an airstrike against Al-Matamma district amidst heavy flights. In Hajjah Governorate, the Saudi jets launched a series of strikes against the bordering district amidst heavy flights. Local sources reported that the Saudi aircraft launched at least 24 raids against the district of Harad and Midi after 35 air raids to make the total as 59 airstrikes against the 2 districts of Harad and Midi. Earlier, they waged 11 air raids against the same districts, along with destroying a fuel station in Al Rabu'a Market, Abs district. They also hit Masha'ir Mountain in Mastaba district with an air raid. The Saudi jets had with new air raids the governorate of Al-Hudaydah in the west of Yemen. Local sources said that the Saudi warplanes waged 5 air raids on Bajil district in conjunction with intensive flying over many districts. The Saudi jets hit the same area with similar raids in the past few hours. They also waged several air raids against Kamran Island. The Saudi jets resumed attacking a Ceylan district in Shabwa, south of Yemen. Local sources at the governorate confirmed that the Saudi fighters hit As-Saq area with an airstrike. The Saudi jets waged heavy bombardment on the area during the last week to cover the land attacks on the ground by Al-Qaeda and other Saudi-paid militias. The cholera epidemic swept 92% of the Yemeni districts according to the United Nations, and the outbreak of the disease is the largest single-year cholera outbreak ever. The following story has it full.
Saudi coalition has isolated Yemen from the rest of the world, where a quarter of the population is starving, and according to the United Nations, the war has claimed 10,000 lives. Half a million of children under the age of 5 are severely malnourished, and at least 2,135 people, most of them children, have died of cholera in the past 6 months. The cholera outbreak in the war-torn Yemen is the largest single-year cholera outbreak ever on record, with death toll reached up to now to more than 2,150 deaths since April. United Nations said that over 800,000 suspected cholera cases and over 2,150 associated deaths since April 27th has been reported, as the spokesman of the UN told reporters at UN headquarters, saying that it is the largest single-year cholera outbreak ever on record, and adding that the outbreak has spread to 92% of Yemen's districts this week, while the World Health Organization corrected 2 flights to the capital Sana'a carrying more than 53 tons of essential medicines and medical supplies. And even humanitarian workers reached more than 2.2 million people with essential medicines and medical kits, including providing some 600,000 with medicines for non-communicable diseases, the epidemic still in the dangerous levels. Yemen is fast becoming world's largest humanitarian crisis due to the Saudi regime and its coalition and allies, who backed it and turned its back to Yemen and its people.
On the 7th of April 2015, the Saudi-led coalition warplanes committed a heinous crime against the fuel station in Houth district, Amran Governorate, led to the killing of more than 33 civilians and injuring tens others. More details to follow up next in this report.
Saudi-led coalition warplanes since the beginning of what dubbed decisive storm operations harvested dozens of Yemeni lives with no reason or justification. Saudi regime and its coalition since the unjust war in the 26th of March 2015 on Yemen deliberately perpetrated dozens of massacres, resulted in thousands of killed and injured, mostly women and children. The hostile coalition fighters didn't distinguish between military sites or the civilians' locations. Most of the hitting's call against civilians came under the justification of targeting weapon stores or military locations. Actually, Saudi aggression failed to achieve any victories in field, so it resorted to commit inhumanity heinous crimes against civilians to cover its failure, and on the other hand to oblige Yemeni people to surrender. But the Yemeni people proved for the whole world that it is still steadfast in the spite of the genocides and atrocities against the civilians. One example of Saudi brutality and barbarism what happened of massacre on civilians on the 7th of April 2015. Saudi warplanes in this day committed a heinous massacre against the fuel station in Houth district of Amran Governorate, led to killing more than 33 civilians and other tens injured. Those innocent have been targeted by Saudi aggression warplanes with no guilt or reason and with no pity or mercy. This massacre is one example of many heinous crimes committed by Saudi regime in Yemen. This slaughter considered a flagrant violations and inhumanity crime on civilians that contradict with Islamic values and the international laws which prohibit killing civilians in war or peace. No wonder of the continuation of the hostile coalition in targeting Yemeni civilians in everywhere that come under the collusion of the international community and the shameful silence of the United Nations, which insist on to turn a blind eye on such atrocities and allow the Saudi-led coalition to keep on in its aggression on 30 million people.
The U.S. House of Representatives have called for the U.S. military to stop lending crucial support to the Saudi Arabian war in Yemen, citing humanitarian rights concern. A Western committee condemned Saudi intervention into the Yemeni war that has led to the deaths of tens of thousands of civilians. The primary way the U.S. has supported the Saudi-led coalition's incursion has been refueling missions flown by U.S. air forces that allow their Saudi counterparts to continue a campaign of airstrikes in their southern neighbors. The new Pell House Congratulation Resolution number 81 would bar the U.S. military from participating in any military action, including support for any side in the Yemeni war, except operations against the powerful Islamic militant groups Al-Qaeda in the European Peninsula. At the end of the news, here is a look back at the news main headlines. Yemeni people mark the 54th anniversary of the 14th of October revolution. Saudi jets wage airstrikes against several Yemeni governorates. And cholera outbreak sweeps 92% of Yemeni districts. And that's all for the news. Thanks for being with us, and goodbye.